Hi everybody, this is John Watkins. This is part 2 of our video series on Viking's London, Paris, and D-Day cruise that we took in late April and early May of 2025. In this part of the video series, we're going to cover the excursions to the D-Day beaches, Pointe du Hoc, Omaha Beach, and Utah Beach. And the reason for that is because I think most viewers will be primarily interested in those excursions. We'll cover life on the boat, other excursions in later videos. Now there is a part of this video that will cover some information about the excursions that you should know if you're considering going on this cruise. But without further ado, let's get out to the beaches. This is the famous Pointe du Hoc, where the U.S. Army Rangers famously scaled the cliffs and took out extensive Nazi fortifications. The views from the cliffs show just what an amazing story this is. And here's a broader shot of the cliffs. It's just amazing to think they were able to do this and in a very short period of time. And here are the remains of some of the fortifications that they faced. And this is a memorial to the Rangers and their bravery on that fateful day. We are now on Utah Beach, which is a much broader sandy beach where the Allied operations on D-Day were quite a bit more successful the first day. And here's a view down the other way toward Omaha Beach, I believe, if I've got my directions correct. It's part of the museum up there, which has some kind of interesting exhibits. At Utah Beach, there are many memorials to the valiant soldiers who died on D-Day. There are also statues such as the seaman who's ready to ship out, it appears, and exhibits such as this Higgins boat or landing craft. And here's a statue of Andrew Jackson Higgins, whose company built these boats and who, according to General Eisenhower, won the war. And here is a B-26 Marauder in the museum, which is well worth a visit. The final stop of the day was Sainte-Mère-Église, which was the first French town liberated on D-Day. It has some great museums. Here our guide Stan, who was fabulous, is talking to a local guide at the museum. And here's one of the exhibits in the museum. This is a real Waco glider that was used during D-Day. It's one of the many museums here in Sainte-Mère-Église. Sainte-Mère-Église is best known for its church, and this is a memorial to paratrooper John Steele, who landed on the church. This is the chapel in Sainte-Mère-Église. It's beautiful. And in the church, there's this magnificent stained glass window which offers a tribute to the U.S. paratroopers. One of the most memorable visits was to the Normandy American Cemetery, where nearly 9,400 American soldiers are buried. The place is just massive and is very impressive and sobering. Here, veterans from our Viking cruise gather at the memorial.
This part of the memorial is dedicated to those whose bodies have not been recovered, and their names are listed just row after row of these walls. It's pretty moving to see it.
There's also a small chapel. Here's the interior. When a soldier's grave is visited, there is a short ceremony for the family where the grave is rubbed with sand so that the name is more visible, and American and French flags are left to mark the occasion.
This is part of Omaha Beach at the American Cemetery and Memorial. And you can kind of see from the video what these guys faced getting up here. It looks green and nice right now, but it would have been difficult to come up, especially when you're getting shot at, machine guns, etc. Looks like you can go down on the beach if you want, but we do not have time for that in our group, which is unfortunate. This is a new memorial on Omaha Beach, and Back here is the old historical memorial. These are the beaches the boys had to cross. They had to get up these hills, all while facing bunkers, shot at. This foot view shows the huge dunes, or bluffs you might call them, that had to be crossed before you got up to the plateau where the land is. This is a group of French children who I believe are on a lesson field trip learning about D-Day, which is, it's good. It's good that they learned the history for sure. This is from the roof of the Mulberry Harbor Museum on the coast. You can see the remains of the Mulberry Harbor, and just, this thing was big. Yeah, it's impressive to see.
As discussed earlier, there's some things about these excursions that you should know before you book this cruise. We booked separate excursions to Pointe du Hoc and Utah Beach, and then to Omaha Beach and the Mulberry Harbors. These were back-to-back 11-plus hour days that involved a lot of time on a tour bus. The first day we left from Vernon, the second day we left from Rouen. And you spend an awful lot of time on the buses. Now, there is what is called the overland package available. And when we booked the trip, we didn't understand why you'd want to do the overland package, which involves paying extra, including a night in a hotel. Well, the reason you might want to consider the overland package is because it cuts down on the bus time. The bus time, instead of, a leg out and a leg back, and then another leg out and another leg back. You just have one leg in a bus out and one leg in a bus back. So that's a reason you might want to consider it. It does cost extra money, and if we had known that, we might have considered it. So if you're considering booking this cruise, beware that option is available, and make sure it's explained fully to you by Viking. Well, in the next video, we'll look at other excursions in the cruise, and we'll also cover onboard life on the boat. See you next time.